All right, what is up? We are live. Pretty good idea what most people are going to talk about today. But listen, we got something going in the chat already, so I'm just going to start reading the chat because we got some interesting stuff going on there. I've already talked a little bit about it, but here we go. Let's see. Uric and Man Cave Chronicle saying, "What's up?" Definitely an overreaction. I do have a poll question up. Forgot about that. What do you think about Legacy Motor Club and NASCAR's reaction to Noah? Was it fair? Was it unfair? A massive overreaction? They just wanted him gone. 35% thinking they just wanted him gone. Let's see. 54% think it's a massive overreaction, and 16% think it's unfair. Just switched it up. 16% think it's unfair. 0%. Golly, your job is to talk. Why can't you talk today? 0% think it was a fair reaction either way. I would have to agree with that. I think since you already have the precedent with the Denny Hamlin deal, I think it should have been the same penalty there. Obviously, when you represent a company, you can't go around liking stuff like that on your main account. So I'm not defending that there, but I do think that the punishment does not fit what they have done to other people in the past. So that's where I fall on it too. But yeah, right now, 48% thinking it is a massive overreaction. Definitely an overreaction, plus them just wanting him gone. Jimmy is going soft, says Bumblebee. Man Cave saying what's up to B. Jimmy has been soft, says Glock. LOL. Bumblebee agreeing with him. Glock saying, you see him back in the day, every time another driver confronts him or was mad at him, he crossed his arms and would squirm uncomfortably. I remember him getting that way with Biffle at Martinsville, says Bumblebee. Biffle was the man. He kept it clean and respectful of everyone. But if you crossed him, he went 100 country boy real quick. Yeah, for sure. Biffle did race clean, and he would hang it on the ragged edge and still race pretty clean. So that was definitely good. The only time anybody actually confronted Greg Biffle was Kevin Harvick, and Kevin Harvick with the wrestling background, of course. Not scared of too many people. Wow, someone didn't like my Deegan post. LOL, says Mark Barnum. Hey, Evie, says Mark Barnum. The Glockopus, I always liked Biffle, always did. Yeah, Biffle, I like Biffle. Unfortunately, I feel like he left the sport too early. He got a few rides, but that equipment in the who did he race for? Did he race for the money team? I can't remember who he raced for. Or did he race for New York Racing? Either way, he wasn't in great equipment. I don't know why people get so. I think he raced for New York Racing. I don't know why people get so polarized over Deegan. Like no respect, but the investment people make in what is basically just a mid truck series contender is astounding. So I will. There's several factors to that. One factor is there's a lot of girls who want to see another girl race, and she is the only girl with that big of a profile racing right now. So that's one aspect of it. The other aspect of it is her social media account, and that's what I put down here in the comments. She's got over 500,000 YouTube subscribers. So the other half is they've connected with her on YouTube, and it would almost be like you're invested into a YouTuber, and the YouTuber is somewhat open about their lives, so they're letting you into their lives a little bit. So part of it is you're watching a reality star compete in a sport, if that makes any sense. The same way people get attached to people on I guess like Big Brother or Survivor. I'm not real familiar with game shows like that, but those are two that I remember. I know those are real big. Same thing with like Dancing with the Stars and stuff like that. Sometimes people will get really invested in the characters on those shows. So I feel like that's the other side of it. People have gotten really invested in Hailie Deegan. Like I said, 500,000 YouTube subscribers. They're invested in her. They want to see her do good from that perspective. So I think a lot of her fans are not necessarily traditional NASCAR fans. They don't necessarily care that she runs bad so much as they're pulling for her to run good. They want to see her do good. They're not the traditional NASCAR people who are like, oh, she's not running good enough. She doesn't deserve that ride. So there's two sides to that story. So I think her fans are just on the opposite side of it. They're pulling for a young kid that they found on YouTube and they thought her story was interesting. I think that's, and then there's probably like a third of that's Metal Militia guys, fans from her dad. Yeah, but it just can't be all about social media. Says Glock, those trucks don't suit her, says Mark Barnum. Yeah, for whatever reason, the trucks don't suit her as good as cars do. Like Kenny Wallace just made a video talking about how good Hailie Deegan can drive an SRX. So I totally agree, Glock. I respect her, but she hasn't proven much to me. So that's what I'm saying. Unfortunately, the results haven't been there in trucks just yet. Better car driver, says Mark Barnum. If that's the case, she needs to do something with the money she does have and getting a car. That's what I'm hoping to. I think she just needs a change of scenery. Sometimes, like for whatever reason, something just doesn't work out for you in one series or the other. SS Greenlight would be a great fit for her, says Bumblebee. And let's be honest, like we've seen other drivers that struggle too. Like Brandon Jones is struggling this year, but we saw Brandon Jones struggle when he first came into the series, and then he started doing good, and he got some wins with Gibbs last year. We saw Riley Herbst start off. He was not very good. He has become a driver that consistently competes for a playoff bid in the Xfinity Series. So he is night and day better than he was when he first started in Xfinity. So as long as Haley puts in the work, I think she'll eventually figure it out and become a decent race car driver. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say she's going to be the next Dale Earnhardt or anything like that, but I think she can continue to work on her skills and ability and continue to get better and better. I honestly want to see her have success, says Bumblebee. I think a lot of people want to see her have success. So I agree with that too. But I think it is fair enough to say she hasn't had the results so far. So, I mean, I think that's a fair criticism as well. I would think she is working on it. Easy for us keyboard people to diss someone, says Mark Barnum. Yeah, I don't think anybody's dissing her. I think people are just frustrated because they want to see her do good and she's just not doing good yet. I think that's part of it. And then there's obviously, there's obviously haters. Any driver is going to have haters. I forget which driver I was talking about, and I was like, the only driver that absolutely nobody hates. And then like in the comments of that video, there was like several people like, I hate that guy, blah, 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 because of this, that, and the other thing. So I was like, oh, well, every driver has a hater, apparently. I'm not dissing her. I'm just saying eventually next year it'll happen. Thing is, sadly, opportunities will run out if she doesn't start ripping off good results soon. I hope so. And then I posted the subs and stuff like that. So Haley Deegan has 500,000. NASCAR has 1 million. And Dale Jr. has 356,000 or something like that. So I always found that was interesting. Dale Jr., the most popular driver in NASCAR, has less subscribers than Haley Deegan. I always find that kind of interesting. Personally, I would like to see her in a C car with SHR or RFK backing. I think so too. I think that would be a pretty cool situation to look at. I worked 12 today. A tired young woman, says Bumblebee. So there you go. And Mark Barnum saying he's mowed the grass today, so he's very tired. And Bumblebee lost the patience. So she said, y'all be praying for Scott Wardlaw's family. So lift up that family in your prayers. And also DJ Casper, the Casper Slide. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. So he passed away today. So the Casper Slide guy, when I bartended, they played that song every freaking day I bartended. And as tired as I got of hearing that song, it brought a lot of joy to a lot of people. So rest in peace, DJ Casper. I worked 12-14s for 35 years. I have the right to be tired, says Mark Barno. Oh, no doubt, buddy. You put your time in. Enjoy your retirement, my friend. In between the lanes, what's up? Good to see you on here. Absolutely. Mark, rumor has it Noah is fired, says Shy. So, yeah, that's been an interesting thing today. Jordan Bianchi reporting that Legacy, I almost said Trackhouse for some crazy reason. Reporting that Legacy Motor Club is going to get rid of Noah. And Jim Utter is reporting that Legacy hasn't gotten rid of Noah Gregson. So let's just pretty much be honest. They're going to get rid of Noah Gregson. They're just negotiating a buyout of his contract so that he doesn't sue them for wrongful termination. In my opinion, that's what's going on. So he's getting his bag right now to leave them. Hands down, the worst reason athletes ever been suspended from his or hers sport in the history of mankind. So yeah, it's such a weird one, man. Like everybody failed at every level. That's what I think about it. I think everybody failed at every level on this, right? Like for the Titanic to sink, the captain had to keep doing what he was doing, which was he should have gone straight into the iceberg, right? But he veered and tried to avoid it, and he opened up the side of the ship. So he made a failure. The lookout guy, he had a failure because he didn't spot the iceberg. And the shipbuilder had a failure too because they said they built an unsinkable ship. So that's 3 people that had to fail for that to happen. For this thing to blow up as big as it did, everybody had to fail at the same level, right? Noah Gregson had to fail on his level by liking a meme while he represents a multi-million-dollar company. So Noah failed there. Legacy Motor Club failed by suspending him and not following the precedent that was already there with Denny Hamlin and Joe Gibbs Racing, where he just got sensitivity training. NASCAR failed by doing the same thing, disregarding their own precedent that they had set for that. So NASCAR failed too, and that's a bigger story. And they also failed to look at what time that they made this a bigger story. The regular media pundits were tired of talking about the Trump arraignment hearings and stuff like that. They were also tired of talking about the Bud Light thing, so they needed another story to invigorate some juice into what they wanted to talk about and grift about to make money on YouTube or whatever social media platforms, right? So now they're going to talk about the Noah Gregson thing because they have exhausted Trump, they have exhausted Bud Light, so now they're going to exhaust the Noah Gregson deal, and he's possibly going to become the next Brandon Brown or whoever you want to put there. So everybody had to fail at every level for it to blow up this big, and there you go. Like I said, when NASCAR found out about it, all they had to do was have a talk with him behind the scenes. That guy could have wrote his article, but that article mainly would have been ignored because NASCAR wouldn't have suspended him. So it is what it is. Everybody made their bed, and now everybody must lay in it. So everybody failed at every step there. Unfair overreaction, but convenient cause. And that's the other thing. They were definitely going to get rid of him anyway. Before any of this ever happened, Jordan Bianchi basically came out and said, hey, John Hunter Nemechek's going to be in that car next year, right? So this is just a way for them to get rid of him. I don't think they thought it would get this big. But like I said, the timing of this, they've exhausted the stories they normally talk about with the former president getting arrested and the Bud Light deal. They've exhausted those stories. They've run them into the ground. So this is going to be the next thing that they run into the ground until something bigger happens. He will go back to Xfinity, but where, says Mark Barnum. Boris said wanted a piece of Biffle. Oh, yeah, Boris said, I forgot about him. He did try to get a hold of Biffle one time. Good point, Brickyard. Xfinity, where he goes, probably either RCR maybe or back to Junior Motorsports if he can get funding. Him getting funding is going to be the interesting part because if mainstream media and the regular people that politically grift off of stuff like this keep driving it into the ground, he's going to be toxic to regular sponsors. So it'll be interesting to see if he can get funding for either series. What's up, BB? What's up, race fans? This is Joshua Jenkins. Biff ran some for New York Racing. New York Racing is what it was. Appreciate you there, Bumblebee. I always get New York Racing confused with the money team for whatever reason. I know it's totally different cars, totally different numbers, but I transpose them in my head for whatever reason. I hope Gregson pulls a Richard Petty and does a year in another series like the Cars Tour. Says Billy Joe. I mean, that's definitely another option. He's a super late model man, so he could get into a super late model or to a crate late model, whatever they have now. Greg Biffle won in Texas in 2019 for Kyle Busch Motorsports. Says in between the lanes. I didn't know Legacy was using a last string pit crews. Speaking of pit crews, 2311 going to do for what's 2311 going to do for Reddick? So yeah, 2311 once again. They get these pit crews from Joe Gibbs Racing, right? So like, and they're one of many teams. The 47 team also, even though they're Chevrolet, they get their pit crew from Joe Gibbs Racing. So it begs the question. Joe Gibbs Racing is not going to give you the best pit crew because they're going to save all the best pit crews for their 4 cars. So you're fighting between the 23, the 11, and the 47 for the better pit crew. So you're still getting, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, that's just what it is. They're fighting over the 5th, 6th, and 7th best that Joe Gibbs Racing has. So I don't know. In my humble opinion, the best thing for Noah, getting away from Legacy, it will take a while and be difficult, but he will be back. The other thing I want to point out there, even though John Hunter Nemechek's going over there, for whatever reason, that 42 car is always like 10 positions slower than the 43 car. So even with Josh Berry in it, you saw he had to overdrive the car and stuff the car into the wall, and that's similar to what we saw with Noah Gregson. So for whatever reason, that 42 car, and Ty Dillon last year too, he was always 10 spots behind Eric Jones. So for whatever reason, that 42 car is way, way slower than the 43 car. So they need to find some consistency with that 42 to get it on pace with the 43. Overreaction in Gregson will bounce back, and he will be back, says Joshua Jenkins. I hope so. We've seen it go both ways, right? So we've seen Kyle Larson has bounced back and became a champion. Kyle Larson, his situation was much more egregious, but he took his year off. He learned how to be a better person. He did things to get better, and then he became a better race car driver because he took it more seriously. Hopefully, Noah Gregson can take that approach, but we've also seen the Brandon Brown situation. Brandon Brown has never come back, so it can go both ways. Matt DiBenedetto, he was the last person to put that number 21 car in the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. He hasn't come back. He's still racing in trucks, but he hasn't come back to the big show, right? So it can go either way. We've seen people come back. We've seen people not come back. So hopefully he's a guy that can learn from what he did and come back and do better. career-wise, because obviously this was a disappointing rookie year for him for sure. But like I said, I think a lot of it has to do with the car itself. Napa Racing fans saying agree. Vintage yellow Baloney Boy shirt arrived today. It looks a lot like Stenhouse, says Brickyard Brickhead. I appreciate it. It's supposed to be a character crossover between me and the big boy. So I don't know if the graphic artist likes me or was having fun with me, but either way, I thought the shirt was awesome, so it's pretty funny. Amber Bachlian is my favorite woman driver because she's a Canuck and has been through the racing. Yeah, she used to race in the Cars Tour. They did the what was that called? The Real Housewives of NASCAR thing they did. I can't remember what it was actually called. But yeah, they were filming that at Hickory one year when we were racing with the Cars Tour. So yeah, she was there. And they were filming that deal. It was really bizarre because nobody knew what was going on. CW could get a 6-race package, says the guy who has a YouTube channel. It's really weird when somebody's filming at the racetrack. CW could get a 6-race package for Cup if Amazon deal falls. I wouldn't be against it. I think the Xfinity deal being on the CW is good because the CW does have a free streaming service from what a lot of people have told me. So as long as it's free to all, I think that's good. But Amazon would be not a bad backup plan, I guess. Let's see here. Whoa, way behind in the chat. Need to speed it up here. NASCAR needs to push the networks to put TV races on broadcast TV and not cable. I agree with that 100%. Respect the hell out of Deegan, but if the truck package doesn't work for her, I don't see how she'll tame the Xfinity Series package. It's just a totally different way of driving a car. But that being said, let's see. If she gets to the Cup Series, I think the Cup Series car probably drives closer to the trucks because you're having to hold the throttle wide open just about the whole time. So I don't know if it bodes well for the Cup, but I think she'll actually do better in Xfinity. Welcome to the jungle, sweet child of mine, says Shah. I appreciate it. And I think I saw somebody earlier say that they like the T-shirt, so I appreciate you there as well. Dig your shirt, dig your T-shirt, good taste in music. Appreciate you, one wise guy. Let's see here. For the TV deal, says Napa Race fan, SVG will be on the Dale Jr. Thursday, I think. I bet he announces real soon. He is signing. I think he's going to sign with Trackhouse too, Robin Marks. I heard there was some beef with him and his team in Aussie land, but I haven't heard more. I think everything will work out. I think everything will be all right. Trucks are a handful, and chemistry is everything. Not to mention the truck series is smash and bash. Some of them are just young and don't have to pay for a thing, says Michael Honeychuck. Yeah, that's pretty true. The correct answer is C and D, says Quiet Cat. Yeah, for sure. When you got part-time, I agree with that. I think it's a little bit of both. They took advantage of this situation to just get rid of him and get somebody else in there to sort of test out what they want to do for next season. When you got part-time drivers finishing higher than you in the points, there's a serious problem. Speaking about Haley Deegan, says Massey Ferguson. Haley Deegan, in the immortal words of Shania Twain, that don't impress me much, says Shah. Let's see. RFK would definitely return to 3 full-time Cup cars in Xfinity in 2025 if we keep the charter system, increase charters to at least 40, if not more. I think they definitely at some point have got to increase the charters. Cha-Cha Slide was cool until people played it 55 times in 6 hours, says Bumblebee. Yeah, welcome to my life when I was bartending. Not only that, but they were feeling no pain when I had to deal with them and they were listening to it. So we'll leave that at that. Moved on from that job. So that's all I'll say about it. SVG was fuming when they ordered to let teammates pass him for the win. I bet I wouldn't even do it. Like I would take the, I'd rather hear them complain to me in the Monday morning meeting than follow team orders as far as that goes. Bartending, funny you say that. I love it so much that I had to give it up. Hey, there you go, Daniel Robertson. You could float an aircraft carrier from all the bourbon I drank. So there you go. Legacy dug up the information and used it, says Robin Marks. Actually, the Daniel McFadden, I hate to talk about this because I don't really – half of it was him doing his job. The other half of it was he votes for a different candidate than Noah voted for, and he was more than happy to look it up. So 50% he was doing his job. 50% he was super happy to do it on Noah Gregson. He sent them basically a letter, like sort of like what Taylor Lorenz does. If you're not familiar with Taylor Lorenz, look her up. he basically sent a letter and said, hey, I'm going to write this article. If you guys want to jump in front of this, feel free, but this is what I'm going to talk about. And so he put NASCAR and Legacy Motor Club to the test. And like I said earlier, they both failed that test because they should have said, we'll handle this in-house. That's what they should have told him. They shouldn't have bowed to the pressure, but they bowed to the pressure because they knew he was going to write this article. And once that happened, you got what you got now. So it is what it is. But it wasn't Legacy MC didn't dig it up. Somebody else on the internet dug it up, and he's getting a lot of pressure. He's basically deactivated his accounts. And then Daniel McFadden, I think that's his name, wrote an article about it and was checking his sources in a very giddy manner. So that's the way I see it, in my opinion. I feel like this Noah thing is Brandon Brown, Matty D all over again. Yeah, I feel like it's the same thing. Like I said, that reporter votes very differently than Noah Gregson, and he was more than happy to, do what he did. NASCAR just needs to keep the politics out of it. Thank you, Napa Racing Fan. That's what I'm saying. Didn't do a good job with this recent controversy. I agree. They should have just gave him the same thing that Denny Hamlin got and moved on about their business. But now they've made it super political. Baseburger says, Quiet Cat Gregson should never have apologized, says Anthony Leach. I'm not going to say he never should have apologized, but just know in these situations that the apology will never be enough. They'll just keep asking for more and more and more. It's never going to be good enough in situations like this. It's always going to be more and more and more. I'm tired of sounding like a conspiracy theorist with everything these days, but Toyota sure didn't seem to want Noah. Yeah, Noah was gone either way. So, that's my thing. They didn't have to do it. They didn't need this to get rid of him. He was going anyway. Jordan Bianchi had already reported that before any of this came out, right? Even though it was a rumor. It basically was true. So all of this stuff, all the speculation, they did this to get rid of him. They didn't do this to get rid of him. They took advantage of it to get rid of him sooner. So I will say that, but they didn't dig anything up on him. Supposedly Elon will support anyone losing their job because of Twitter, says Shah. Yeah, unfortunately, he did this on Instagram, but it was retweeted on Twitter, and that's where it gained traction. So he's not going to fight this battle, although I would like to see Elon legal versus NASCAR legal. I think that would be interesting. Biggest Titanic issue was the coal fire burning inside for over a week. Many crew did not make the trip, then hit where the fire was. The steel was weakened. So there you go. Another design flaw from the engineering. So there you go. That's at least four people having failures there, Michael Honeychucks. That's what I'm saying. When you have a big, massive failure, it's usually multiple people had to fail at what they were doing. Agree, Napa Racing Fan. I am now a legacy hater. I like the drivers, but unfortunately now I hope the worst for them, says Shah. I'm always going to pull for the 43. I'm always going to be a Richard Petty fan. I'm always going to be a Dale Senior fan. So I'll always pull for the 43. I will always pull for RCR. But I don't necessarily have to like how they reacted to this. I do think Noah messed up. I'd like to be very clear about that, because you can't represent a big corporate entity like that and like stuff like that, even though it was dark humor. But you can't like stuff like that. So Noah did mess up, but I also feel like Legacy messed up, and I feel like NASCAR messed up in their responses as well, because they already set precedent last year with Denny Hamlin. Will BPS be on the 3 car next season with the 19, the 3, and the 4? I don't know. I don't know about the Bass Pro Shops deal. I don't know about the 4 car. I know with the 19, I know Martin Truex is still going to have it. I feel like Austin Dillon is still going to have it. So I would say the 19 and the 3. I don't know about the 4, though. That's a good question. I haven't heard anything about the sponsorship of the 4 yet. Sorry, I'm late. Do I get a demerit? Says old home guy. Indefinite suspension seems to be the order of the day. Just kidding, old home guy. That's probably a dark humor joke. Very terrible. Anyway, Uncle Bone says yes. LOL. Larson made it back after his oops. Was worse in my opinion. Noah will return. Yeah, for sure. I think Larson's infringement was definitely worse. I think most people would agree with that. I never thought I'd be saying this, but Chris Buescher goes for his 3rd straight Cup win this weekend. That's the craziest part about this. Chris Buescher can't catch a break. Chris Buescher has won back-to-back races. And last week, all anybody wanted to talk about was Denny Hamlin and freaking Kyle Larson and their drama. And this week, all anybody wants to talk about is Noah Gregson liking a meme on Instagram. So Chris Buescher has won 2 races in a row, and nobody's talking about the guy. I'm like, my God, what does this guy got to do to get some shine? Chris Buescher is the most underrated, underappreciated. I'm not going to say the most, but he's one of the most underrated, underappreciated drivers in the sport. What does he have to do to get some attention, man? He's won 2 in a row. He could be getting hot at the right time. This could be the next Joey Logano where he goes and upsets the playoffs, right? You remember the year that Joey Logano upset the playoffs? He upset Martin Truex Jr. first, I reckon I should say. But then he won the playoffs out of nowhere. So there you go. Bass Pro with the high-priced place to buy sporting goods. I avoid them. Says Mark Barnum. Dick's Sporting Goods is kind of high on prices too. 42 car has bad builders. Says Shaw. Yeah, I don't know what's up. It's just so weird that those 2 cars come out of the same place, right? But the 42 car is always like, no matter who's driving it, the 42 car is 10 spots behind the 43 car. It makes zero sense. It's so crazy to me that 2 cars that come out of the same shop are that far apart on speed. Let me say this. Bologna Burger, did you like Kyle Busch's scheme this weekend? For the 5 minutes I got to see the Quick Trip Chevy, it looked really good. Yes, I do like it. Who's this Daniel McFadden guy that emailed meme to Legacy and Chevy? Says old home guy. He's a writer, as far as I know. He writes. Who does he write for? The Arkansas Democrat Gazette. So, I mean, the name of the newspaper he writes for basically tells you that he obviously disagrees with who Noah votes for, right? So part of that was definitely, it is what it is. Toyota is going to be, they just disagree politically, right? So he had motivation to go after Noah. That being said, Noah gave him the ammunition. Noah screwed up. That's what I'm saying. Everybody at every level had to screw up for this to get this big. Toyota is going to be their manufacturer next year, a key partner. They are pushing Legacy to move on from Gregson, in my opinion, says Joshua Jenkins. Yeah, so that's the thing. They're not moving on from Noah Gregson because of this incident. They had already moved on from Noah. Noah had already been moved on from. They were going with John Hunter Nemechek. This just happened, and it was a convenient thing for them to just go ahead and get him out of the car now. So it is what it is. Let's see. What do you think about the reporter digging up dirt on Noah to start this drama, says Mr. Monk? Well, half of it, he was doing his job. So that half of it is true. The other half of it is he was extra motivated to do his job because he votes one way and Noah Gregson votes the other way. And you'll never convince me that that's not the fact. Because he in so much as said it in the article when he said something to the, I'm just paraphrasing here, but he said, I had a pretty good feeling that he did this from knowing who he was or something like that, but I had to go and check my sources. So he's basically saying, I know he's a Republican. I don't like him, so I figured he had to like something like this. That's basically what he's saying there in a roundabout way. So he did have motivation. Like if it had been another driver, he might have given him a pass because they vote like him. But because Noah doesn't vote like him, he made sure he was going to be a reporter today. That's all I'm saying. Hi, y'all from Sandpoint, Idaho. What's up, Cassandra? What's up, Sandpoint? Hey, Shaw, BB, Mark One Wise Guy, Robin, and Bumblebee. What's up, Cassandra? Always good to have you. I love Truex is back, says Robin Marks. Hey, Cassandra. Cassandra, howdy. Howdy, Cassandra from Idaho. Bruce Garvey, 2311 is using their own crew this year per Hamlin on his YouTube show. Oh, so there you go. I didn't know that, Bruce. Good catch. So 2311 has their own pit crew this year, so that's pretty cool. I think that's a good move on their part. I think to be a championship team, you do have to field your own pit crew. So I think that's a necessary expense. And I'm glad that Denny Hamlin saw that and he's doing it that way. So I'm glad I was wrong. First off, I was wrong. So I thought they were still using Joe Gibbs Racing's pit crew. So 2311 has their own pit crew now. And in that case, they need to tighten up on their own pit crew then. Chris Buescher has been the most underrated Cup driver for a while now. I'm not surprised he won back-to-back races. Impressed how far RFK has come. Me too. KFB had to do sensitivity training too. Yeah, so Kyle Busch and Haley Deegan, for the exact same word, had to do sensitivity training, but neither one of them missed a race as far as I know. Howdy, Robin Marks, Yehoser, says Shaw. One wise guy saying, what's up to Cassandra? Shoot, do you have to be a member to get your chat read? Says Daniel Robertson. You do not have to be a member, Daniel Robertson, but I'm really far behind on the chat, so I'm just now getting to yours. You do not have to be a member to get it read. I try to read all of them. Shaw, take off. He won't recover, in my opinion. Not talented like Larson, says Bones. So, yeah, that's the other thing. You have to be super talented. It's sort of like any other sport, right? We've seen NFL players mess up, but if they're talented enough, they always get brought back to the team. Wasn't the show called Racing Wives? I think it might have been called Racing Wives. I can't remember. I did watch this, a full season of it because my buddy actually filmed that. My buddy Ian Brett filmed that show, and he told me which ones were cool and which ones weren't cool. in his opinion. So, and I will not spill that information. But let's see here. Will SHR continue to run Fords next year? Says Chris MV. That's a good question. I think they'll run them next year, but I think the year after that, I think you could possibly see them have a change. Maybe in 2025. That's what I'm thinking. She was dang near paralyzed, says Shop. Jordan never was good at talent evaluation. Look at the Hornets. He must be in charge of hiring the pit crew, says Brian W. So that's a swipe at the Hornets roster and the pit crew, I guess. Bad crash in 2020, says Shot. Denny Hamlin did say Jordan has become more a bigger part of the team now that he sold the Hornets. So you're going to see more of a Jordan influence on that team. If 2311 is using their own crews, they need to get a better system for talent. That's what I'm saying, man. They got to, if they're consistently messing up on the 45 car, they really need to tighten up because that car has been very fast. The 23 car has been very fast as well. So you can't let the pit crew hold you back as far as that goes. And, of course, the 23 car has had pit crew issues basically since the induction of the 23 car. That's their own guys on pit road at 23XI. They're still building a crew. 23XI stopped using fifth-tier pit crew members from JGR last year. So there you go. I appreciate you guys getting me straight. I did not know that. I watched Haley win in a late model in Sportsman Series. I was impressed with her time in ARCA. That's what I saw her in late models too. I thought she was pretty good as well, Big Cheese. I was at Bristol listening to her on her headset. She sounded like she wanted a perfect car, set up and drive. Says Big Cheese. Oh, shut up and drive. So there you go. She's what they call a complainer on the radio. So every driver is different on the radio. Some are very very picky and some are not. Kyle Busch, very picky. A guy like Harry Gant, he never hardly said anything on the radio. He just drove what he had. I'm going to say this, Bowenberg, ever since Denny Hamlin had the Mavis tire and brakes colors on his Toyota Camry TRD, very consistent in the 4 races with those colors. Yeah, I just wish the green was a little bit darker or maybe change the yellow, but those 2 shades don't go together, but he has been fast in that green car. New poll idea. Will Chase Elliott's make the playoffs? So in that poll, looks like massive overreaction wins with 43%. Start a poll. There you go. 9 car make playoffs. Yes or no? That's very good English. Don't judge me. So there we go. Oh, and I forgot every time I do a poll, I lose my place. So since I have lost my place, I will start right. Eric Harris saying my bet's on SVG and Kobayashi. Dale Jr. said Kobayashi had a great test in the car. Yeah, don't sleep on Kobayashi. That guy is good. I watched him in IMSA. That dude can wheel it. I think Toyota had a hand in Gregson getting the axe too, says Mark Barnum. They had a hand in Gregson getting the axe, but they had already made that decision before Twittergate or whatever you want to call it. Riding with Wheels, not sure who it was, but someone said Stenhouse gets their crew from Roush. That's incorrect. Ricky Stenhouse is a Chevrolet. They get their help from Hendrick, says Riding with Wheels. Last I checked, the 47 car actually gets theirs from JGR. They get their pit crew from JGR last time I checked, but I could be wrong. If you guys want to Google that, but I do remember they got their pit crew from JGR, at least last year it was. This is probably the last Indy Road course for Cup, maybe the last in the history in NASCAR, so we should enjoy it. Wouldn't have SVG, Kostecki, Kobayashi, Jensen Button, and now Mike Rockefeller. Otherwise, says Napa Racing Fan. Yeah, so it's another all-star ringer lineup, so it's going to be fun to watch for a lot of people, and some people don't like the ringers. I agree. I see you, Monica. I know you don't like the ringers, so I'm shouting that out there for you. I agree. Noah messed up, but I believe in forgiveness. That's where I'm at with it, too. He's 25 years old. You can't expect 25-year-olds not to screw up from time to time. You can't expect 40-year-olds not to screw up from time to time. Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson Asian tweet. Google it. Legacy has lost me, and I'm on the fence about NASCAR. I'm a NASCAR addict, so cutting it off would hurt, says Shah. I think a lot of people are not happy with NASCAR's reaction to this because they're not consistent with – everybody thinks Noah should have got some type of sensitivity training or something like that, but they don't understand why he's getting suspended. And last year, Denny Hamlin didn't get suspended. Haley Deegan didn't get suspended. Kyle Busch didn't get suspended. Everybody gets sensitivity training except for Noah Gregson. He immediately gets suspended. I can see Bass Pro Shop sticking with Noah, but Wendy's is probably gone, says one wise guy. Again, the winner is overshadowed by other stuff. Number 17, 2 in a row winner, not the story. I agree with the yeah, I mean, this should be a merit-based sport, and we're talking about drama. It's unfortunate. But Chris Buescher deserves a lot of respect for winning 2 in a row. RFK deserves a lot of respect for winning 2 in a row. Brad Keselowski deserves a lot of respect for getting RFK back on track or helping him get back on track. For sure, says Shaw to one wise guy. Good for Christopher Buescher winning 2 races in a row. And oddly enough, people got upset that I say Christopher Buescher in my video. I was joking around, but some people literally took that super seriously. So Chris Buescher, for those who were offended by me saying Christopher Buescher. Shaw, blame Dale Jr. He started that joke. Woohoo, number 17 says Shaw, I'm going to be a homer and take Martin till the end of the season. Martin Truex Jr. has got to be one of your favorites, if not the favorite, to win the title right now. He's been the most consistent over the last few races here. I've noticed Buescher and RFK running well the whole year. Should have won the Daytona 500, honestly. Do you think Jerry Seinfeld is funny, says OJ and Toothpaste? I like the Seinfeld show. I'm not going to say his stand-up was funny, but then again, he's got different forms of stand-up. He's got, they talk about it. There's actually a documentary on him. He does one stand-up. He'll do risque comedy if he's got a younger crowd. If he's got an older crowd, he does the clean stuff. So he's definitely skilled at what he does, but I like the TV show. I can't say that I was ever in love with the stand-up side of it, though. Even Brad Doherty said, give Noah a break, says Brickyard Brickhead. That's what I'm saying. He's a 25-year-old kid that made a mistake on the internet. It upset some people, but I'm just going to be honest with you. It's not that big a deal. Some of the people he's upset, I guarantee you just about everybody at some point in time has either laughed at something that they thought was messed up, but they laughed at it anyway. Let's just be honest. Like, let's not crucify the guy for something that just about everybody has done. And I think everybody has done it. Just most everybody will admit to it. Some people just won't admit to it because they're perfect other than Jesus, or just as perfect as Jesus. They're just as good as that guy Jesus. They can walk on water too when it freezes. That's from Kids in the Hall. I didn't make that up. Even Brad Doherty said, give Noah a break. Corey Heim, the name to watch, Trucks and Xfinity. Shah says forgive. Yeah, Corey Heim is going to be definitely in the pipeline for sure. And I agree with you, Shah. Forgiveness is super underrated these days. It's all about canceling somebody. It's not about forgiveness. Joshua Jenkins happy for Buescher, but is he going to pull a Harvick from last year? Harvick went back-to-back at Richmond and Michigan last year, 2 years in a row. Driver goes back-to-back. Hopefully, he keeps the positive momentum going. The guy had bad intentions. Reading the email he sent to Legacy, that's what I'm saying. Legacy dug up an old post to dump Noah. F them, says James Waite. Actually, it was a guy on Twitter that dug it up from a Reddit post, and then the guy that wrote the article is actually who made Legacy and NASCAR aware of it. They have the proof of the email that he sent. So I'm just saying, Legacy didn't dig up anything, because I'm just going to be honest with you. Toyota and Legacy had already gotten rid of Noah before any of this happened. So it just is what it is. Yes, congratulations. Chris Buescher, 2 in a row. That is fantastic. He is making our state of Texas proud, says Riding with Wheels. For sure. The hometown of 30,000, Prosper, Texas. Chris Buescher. Kyle Larson ran Michigan Monday afternoon, then went to Iowa and raced his sprint car. Iron Man, says William Wagaman. Yeah, that dude's got endless energy. So shout out to him. What are the Bodine brothers up to now, says Old Home Guy. I think one of them drives a pace car, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember, though. I want AJ and Chase to win. One of them's in administration, and one of them maybe drives the pace car. I don't know, though. That's what I'm thinking off the top of my head. I don't have anything in front of me, though. I want AJ and Chase to win in the playoffs. That would be pretty cool. Jay Santos, hi, BB. Your live streams always brighten up my day. I appreciate you, Jay. I do my best. Late to the party. What's up, everyone? Boo, Motor Legacy Flub, says say Kyle. Looks like it would be better for Ford if SHR sold a charter to RFK. I don't know if that's going to happen. Legacy 42 sucks no matter who drives it, says Raymond Bailey. I agree with you, man. It's so crazy that it comes. If you saw those 2 cars on the track and you took the numbers off of them, you would swear one of them was from a different shop, but they come out of the same shop. It's wild to me. I told you weeks ago, I don't think Chase makes it. 68% right now saying no. Poll question is up. RFK got their guys back from JTG this year. Says Aaron Flynn. William Wagaman, who is okay, so the RFK guys went back from JTG this year, I guess. Who is Mike Rockenfeller? Mike Rockenfeller is a sports car driver. He's out of Germany, I want to say. I'm going off the top of my head. I might be wrong, but I think he is a German sports car champion, touring car champion or something. But he races in IMSA. He's raced the Daytona 24 Hours several times that I know of. So that's where I know him from. I was in Sonoma when Jeff Bodine won in '94. People forget how good Jeff Bodine was. Unfortunately, he's another good one that's going to get overlooked. Watching Deegan and SRX, I've noticed she is better on flat tracks than bank tracks, says Bruce Carvey. 9 car, yeah, all drivers have certain tracks they're good at, but she's got to get better at every track. 9 car makes the playoffs. Not says Shy. Yoda ear wiggle. Everyone hit the like button, says T-Van. Yeah, so if you want to hit the like button, that would be much appreciated. So did someone confirm that the post was like from? So the post, I guess, is from 3 years ago, but Noah Gregson liked it. There's a timeline in that guy's article. He says somewhere from May 23rd to somewhere in there. So it could May 2023, basically, is when Noah Gregson liked it. But the post is maybe from 2020 or something like that. Imagine the Ringer's place, 1, 2, 3, says Robin Marks. Oh, people would lose their minds. Like, people would lose their minds if that happened. Good news is always on page 5. That's a fact, Brickyard Brickhead. It rarely makes the front page. It only makes the front page if nothing dramatic happened. Just checked. JTG is using pit crews from Roush. So there you go. JTG Doherty is using Roush pit crews this year, not Joe Gibbs Racing. The 17 team stole Stenhouse's 500 crew a few months ago. So funny enough, that group has won 3 races. LOL. That is pretty funny. And oddly enough, they got him out there in front of Martin Truex Jr. So they actually pulled off the big pit stop this race, right? Dale Jr. called him Christopher Buescher. Thanks to him, I'll always call the driver of the 17 Christopher, says Napa. What the heck is with Truex and Mondays? LOL, says Shy. He almost had another one. If he had like a longer tire run where there was tire fall off, I think he might have had a chance to get him. Or if Michael McDowell didn't do his Ford teammate a solid. Michael McDowell did. Let's not talk about that. Michael McDowell did the 17 car solid by taking Martin Truex Jr.'s lane and not taking the 17's lane. So there is that as well. I think he watches footage for what others are doing and adapts it. All he did was like a post, says Raymond Bailey. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but when you represent a company like that, you can't like post like that on your main account. He should have made a backup account if he wants to like shit posts or edgy humor or stuff like that. Not saying I agree with the reaction that Legacy Motor Club and NASCAR had, but it is what it is. That's their prerogative. He's got to be smarter about liking those posts. And I think going forward, he definitely will be, right? So Ricky was talking about the crew change months ago, says Aaron Flynn. Truex wins the championship. I love Ross, but I think Truex for weeks. He's a nice guy, drives clean, proves it can be done. He for sure, a white hat. His return is overshadowed, says Robin Marks. Yeah, so Truex he's going to be good every year, in my opinion. Chase could easily win a road course or Daytona, says 1,000 horsepower. I agree with that. I don't, Joshua Jenkins, I don't agree with Legacy MC's decision with Gregson. I'm a diehard Richard Petty 43 fan, and I'm excited for Eric Jones in the 43 next year. Yeah, I'm going to keep pulling for the 43 and Eric Jones, but I do think Legacy and NASCAR have taken it to the extreme with the punishment, but that's just my opinion. Maybe it was wrong for sure, says Raymond Bailey. Yeah, like liking the post wasn't the smartest idea. So everybody, that's what I'm saying. Everybody had to fail at every step. Noah failed on his end. Legacy and NASCAR failed on their end. So it is what it is. Kids in Hall definitely had some interesting humor, says Jay Santos. It's funny that it's ironic. I didn't even think about that, Jay Santos. It's ironic that I referenced Kids in the Hall because they had some risque humor too. So that's what I'm saying. I guess it's not a big deal to me because I grew up watching risque humor. So it is what it is. One wise guy. I'm not going to get in. I'm not going to even say it. It is what it is. I'm squishing your head. 7. Oh, that's so. So that was. I can't do it on here. There's a head. So there's Kyle Larson right there, squishing his head. That was a Kids in the Hall reference, just for those of you who didn't know. 17. There's 2 guys and they're fighting each other by squishing each other's heads. 17. Now that I've explained it, it's much funnier, right? 17. Good at road courses as well. Squishing, says Shop. Yeah, the 17 is definitely good at road courses. He actually said in his interview that he's looking forward to the road courses and the super speedways. Could RFK pick up a 3rd charter, says one wise guy? I think they would at the right price. I think it would have to be the right price for them. Jones and the 43 have the 5th best average finished in the last 7 races with no manufacturer support, says Joshua Jenkins. Yeah, and that's what I've been saying just about every weekend. That team has gotten on fire. Unfortunately, it's probably going to be a little too late. But if they can get a win, they'll be in the playoffs, and they're getting some momentum at the right time. So, like, they could be sort of like the underdog. We've never seen the underdog, a full-out underdog upset. Austin Dillon was the closest thing that one year when he made it to the, the final 8 or whatever. Everyone almost made it to the final 8 or whatever. But this could be a year where you see somebody like, if the 43 gets a win, they're getting hot at the right time. The 17's getting wins, they're getting hot at the right time. So they would be the ultimate underdogs in this situation because nobody had them winning the championship at the beginning of the year. Austin Oganowski made a good video on the Noah thing, says JFB48. I agree with you 100%. He said it was a low effort video in the thumbnail, and I thought it was hilarious. But he does make some very good points in his video. So if you haven't seen Austin Oganowski's video, and if somebody can post that down in the chat, you definitely need to check out his video because he makes some very valid points in his video. His content is not going to be for some people. I'll just go ahead and warn you on that. But a lot of people in this particular situation, he has made a lot of good points. That's what I'll say. And I think he makes good content, but his content does offend some people. It doesn't offend me. But he does. He did a great job with his video here. Chase Elliott to run late models in Berlin this weekend. LOL, says Shaw, one wise guy. It was a contract. The same was they got Chris back. Says Aaron Flynn. Austin Oganowski made a great video on the Noah deal. So, yeah, 1,000 horsepower. Just referenced that, so he's on top of it, too. He sure did. I like that one, says Bumblebee. Don't forget to like the video or your driver will be unlucky. I can give good or bad luck like a charm. I'm part Irish, says Robin Mark. So, yeah, if you would like to hit the like button on the video, it would be much appreciated. Let's see. A month ago, everyone said Noah deserves a better ride, and they hope he does better. Now, all of a sudden, he sucks, says JFB. Yeah, just unfortunately, when things become political, people pick sides pretty quick. So it is what it is. Before, I hate to make this reference, and I'm just not going to. So I'm just gonna forget it. But there was a guy that used to have a reality TV show, and people liked him. Then he did something political, and now a lot of people hate him. So it is what it is. When things get political, people get hated real quick. Oh yeah, Bumblebee, says JFB. Merch Kyle. Oh yes. Oh, good point. Thank you there, wise guy. Let's see here. Copy. And paste. There we go. If you want to check out the merch store, the link is in the description. I just put it, not the description. The link is in the chat. I just put it there. Let's see. Elliott's worst Michigan finish before this past race was 12th or 13th. Yeah, he was good at Michigan, and then he lost control of his car, unfortunately. Craftsman Truck Series playoffs begin this weekend at IRP. So, yeah, that'll be interesting. Deegan's brother is kicking it in motocross. No surprise there. The good motocross family for sure. Obviously, that's what her dad did back in the day. Lost my spot. There we go. I will always be a Noah fan. I just hope this is not the end of his career. I hope so, too. Shaw says, let's go, Brandon. Shaw saying example. Yeah, so Brandon Brown, another one that never came back from the Let's Go Brandon stuff. All the people that made money on him, grifting, what I'm talking about, making these videos. If they had just funded Brandon Brown from all the money they made selling his slogan T-shirts, he would still have funding to this day. So it is what it is. They made money off of him, ruined his career, and now they're done with him, and he doesn't have a ride. So it's kind of bullshit, but it is what it is. Napa Racing fan, he'll go Xfinity for JRM or colleague. I'm guessing, says Napa Racing fan. I mean, I'm just saying, how much money did people make off of Brandon Brown selling T-shirts and mugs? Steven Crowder. Who else was it? Hodge Twins. Did they sponsor a race car with Brandon Brown on it? Nope, but they should have, because I know they made a ton of money on that gear. Pit stops are definitely winning and losing races this year, says Robin Marks. Who's replacing Josh Perry at JRM? Said first, last. Oh, that's a good question. I have no idea. The post that Noah liked was like 2 or 3 years ago, was still in Xfinity. No, they confirmed it that he liked it this year, Shot. I mean, you can look it up. You can believe what you want to. They proved that he liked it this year. The post might have been made 3 years ago, but he did like it this year. He did like it in 2023, probably sometime in saying. So Truex got wiggle and lost it, going for the leads. There's two kinds of people: the ones who admit they laugh at some offensive things, and the others that lie and say they don't. Says Riding with Wheels. That's what I'm saying. Like like we've all laughed at stuff that, in our opinion, we shouldn't have laughed at. Now, everybody's humor is to everybody's taste, but we've all laughed at something that we're like, oh, I shouldn't have laughed at that. So, I mean, everybody's done it, and this guy is possibly going to lose his career over it. So, it is what it is. The only time any cars pass each other is on pit road. What a shame to report down, says William Wagaman. My vote to replace Barry is Hocevar, maybe Voppel. Sentimental favorite would be Jeffrey Earnhardt, though. They're all in the mix. All three of those guys are in the mix, I would say. And if Noah Gregson can get funding, unlikely given his situation, but I would throw Noah Gregson's hat in that mix too. BK said, bring those guys home. Lees these, says Aaron Flynn. JRM and Cup would be what DEI would have become without the Wicked Witch of the South, says Napa. Can you rate Jeff Burton as an analyst? He's not for everybody. I'm not going to rate anybody as analysts because I don't want anybody to lose their job. Not that they would lose their job over my opinion, but I'm just saying I'm not going to contribute to that. Burton is less annoying than Boyer. That's something, says Napa Racing fan. Sometimes I wonder if every athlete, driver, celebrity has burner accounts. If they don't, they should. Sky Talent. I can't figure out how a generation raised on Family Guy, South Park, and Comedy Central ended up being the most offended people I've ever seen. That's a good question. Is what I think, Bumblebee, is it's a gilded age. People live their real lives and talk with their friends any kind of way, and they talk in their DMs any kind of way. But when they actually post stuff, they're mother frickin' Teresa. That's what I think. You've got this fake Facebook person, you've got this fake Twitter personality, you've got this fake Instagram personality, then you've got your real life that you live outside of it. So in my opinion, social media is just an avatar, and it's a fake avatar of what people think other people want them to be, and then people live their real lives. So that's just my opinion on that. Let's see, 5 out of 10, maybe 6 out of 10, says Napa Racing fan on Burton. Did you like the Castro Edge scheme Chris Buescher had this weekend? I've loved every Castro scheme that they've had, to be honest. I think they've all looked pretty good. In between the lanes, I did. Why do I keep losing my spot? This mouse is not cooperating today. They can't pass because they don't have enough horsepower. They didn't have enough horsepower. That, and they don't have enough tire fall off next gen. So I think it's both. Overall, I think Jeff Burton is an excellent analyst. That voice, though, he really sounds like an elf sometimes. Is Ford getting a new front clip next year? I think they're getting a new nose because they're switching to a new car, if I'm not mistaken. I think everybody's getting a new nose next season, if I remember correctly. But it's been a long season. I can't even remember all the stories that I've reported myself. Dale Jr. is a better analyst, but I don't mind Burton. He's okay. They just sound so similar. I guess that's part of it. I went to get Austin's link, and apparently he removed the video, says Bumblebee. So yeah, he basically called out a whole bunch of drivers that liked certain accounts. So if you missed it, you missed it. But I'm pretty sure the reason he took it down is because somebody got upset and did something to DMCA claim him, or they probably did something to make him take the video down. Let's see. Today's crowd would be banning George Carlin. Go watch his humor, and everything he joked is true, says Mark Barnum. Yeah, they'd really hate Richard Pryor too, and before him, they'd really people wouldn't even get Lenny Bruce. They wouldn't even realize he was joking. They would just scream that he's being a bad person. Bruce Garvey, I love your hard work. Everybody tell your friends to start watching and subscribing. So I appreciate it, Bruce Garvey. 7 words you can't say on radio and TV. That's a George Carlin reference from Napa. Burton sounds like bad sound feedback, says Chris MV, talking about your feedback on a electric instrument. George Carlin is God. I started a church to honor the prophet. It's called the Church of Carlin, or COC for short. So there you go. 1,000 horsepower says the only good analyst to me is Jarrett Petty-Latart. I like Brad Doherty too. Yes, I like all of them. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't like one guy or the other, though. I'm just going to keep it neutral there. Yeah, it looks like Austin removed the video. Maybe it gives some journalists too much ammo. That's what I was thinking. When he started naming off names, I was like, you're going to give the wrong people ammo there on who likes what on social media. But he basically, what he was saying in that is, if we suspend a driver for this, we're opening up a can of worms for people who are disingenuous to just cancel any driver they don't like for whatever reason they don't like them. And he made a fair point there. Robin Marks, thank you, Jay Santos. And you can argue the other side of it. They should know what to like and what not to like. But let's be honest. What's good today might not be good 10 years from now. Some people are getting canceled for posts 10 years ago when humor was a different animal. So it is what it is. Basically, all that's going to come from this is social media is just going to be very boring for all of your celebrities from here on out. I like racing in the Xfinity Series better than Cup sometimes. It's been better for sure the last few seasons. My humor is so dark, I should be jailed. My mother loved dirty jokes, and she was the sweetest lady, polite and charitable, says Robin Marks. Shaw says, okay, thanks for the info about it. When he liked it, just reading a lot of stuff, and it's good you correct me. Now I know who was BSing me. I don't think people are even BSing on purpose. It's just one of these things because it's so polarizing. There's just a lot of spin out there. But they have definitely said that he liked it this year, and he hasn't come out and said that he didn't like it this year. So it is what it is. The old crowd arrested Carlin for his shtick at one time, says Brian W. They arrested Lenny Bruce too. And when he passed away, they further defamed him by desecrating a dead body. I'll just leave it at that. How's your weather there? Says Old Home Guy. It's been hot. It's been hot this week. Double B, hope Gregson can recover from his suspension. And just to make you feel better, Shaw, I get stuff wrong too. I was corrected on here. I think so far on this particular stream, I've gotten everybody's pit crew and where they come from wrong. So I've been wrong today too. So don't even worry about being wrong. Just when you're wrong, just go with it. And like I said, I like to have stuff in front of me. So my videos are usually much better. The internet creates bubble personalities. They don't live in the real world. Agreed. Cheers, Robin, says Jay. I think Hostvar is going to replace Barry at JRM. I think so too. Is the Camaro gone next year? They can run the Camaro for a long time. And also they've said the Camaro is going to be what they run, period, anyway. Because I don't even want to get into this, but the Camaro is coming back as electric. And even though it's an electric car and the NASCAR Cup Series will not be an electric series, the NASCAR Cup Series will not be an electric series. The NASCAR Cup Series will not be an electric series. The electric Camaro body is going to be what Chevrolet runs in the Cup Series. The Cup Series will not be electric. There you go. Burton is an octave higher, says Robin Marks. Go Truex, South Jersey, says Corliss. That PTSD moment was brought to you by the comments of every time I make a video about electric cars. I like Truex because I'm from South Jersey too, says JFB48. I think Truex retires in 2024, says Napa Racing Fan. Corliss saying that's cool. Truex said he's going back for 2024. Yep, that's going to be cool. That's a long time, 2024. Imagine Ron Dinkles or Don Rickles today, says James Waite. 2024, I believe this will be. Just imagine Sanford and Sons today. They couldn't even get that on the air. I believe this will be his last year. Could be wrong. Napa Racing Fan. 2024 for Truex might be his last year. I don't necessarily disagree with that. He just announced over the weekend he's not. Yeah, like I said, 2024 though might be his last year though. Let's see. Another thing, Matt DiBenedetto is in the Truck Series playoffs for sure. When the Camaro is gone, we'll adapt to the Yugo platform. Channel 2+ years ahead of the Yugo craze that's finally catching on, says Old Home Guy. That's right, we were here first. Napa Racing Fan, yes, I think he retires in 2025. That's what I think too, but I'm just guessing. You can never read Martin Truex Jr. What place is JJ Yaley on Earth 2? Number 1 in our hearts on Earth 1 and 2. I love all the analyst crews. Way behind. BJ McLeod is so far ahead in points on Earth 2 that he sat the race out this weekend. I love the NBC analyst crew. I like NBC's camera work, although they had some shoddy camera work early in the race here. They kept jumping around from car to car, and the announcers weren't talking about the cars they were jumping on. Tony Stewart needs to go get Noah, says Cassandra. Dale Jr., I don't think he has any room for anybody else over there. Dale Jr. is the only person that can save Noah, I'm afraid. I think Richard Childress Racing can save him. They can put him in Austin Hill's car when Austin Hill goes to the 31 next year. This whole thing has gotten so far out of control, says Stu Putty. It's a different world we're living in, that's for sure. I love that you know about Lenny Bruce. 1 in 100 would know about him. I was a comedy historian back in the day. You have a broad knowledge base. Also good digging on the background and the chronology of the. I had to do some research, so I wasn't talking out of my butt today because I felt like a lot of people were talking out of their butt, especially people that don't follow NASCAR. I've watched a lot of videos from political people, and two things you're going to hear in every political video. They're going to bring up NASCAR being woke, and they're going to bring up Bubba Wallace over a Noah Gregson video, which Bubba Wallace has nothing to do with. And in one of those videos, a guy that's usually on point didn't do any research, and he was like, Bubba Wallace, as far as I know, hasn't even won a race. So that's what I'm saying. They're just spinning this to make money off of Noah Gregson and the controversy. They're not doing any research, and they're just trying to make money, and it's really freaking irritating. It's made me question a lot of their credibility, and some of them I can never look at the same, just because they were so bad and they didn't correct what they said that was wrong. I don't have a problem with anybody being wrong, but you got to go back and correct it in subsequent videos, and none of them have made those corrections. I think it won't be electric in supercars either, says JFP. I don't think either of them will be electric. I think the most you'll ever see is hybrid, and that'll still have the engine tones and sounds. It'll just be an electric boost. Stewart picking up Noah would be a statement, says one wise guy. I mean, it could be. You're going to have to find funding, though. And I think a big part of that is they've got a funding driver in the 10 car. They're going to want another funding driver, somebody like a Riley Herbst or a Brandon Jones. Sammy Smith is definitely the replacement and waiting for Truex, no doubt about it. I think so, too, and I think Corey Heim is going to the next guy that retires, whether it be Hamlin or whoever. 48 or 9, better chance to get in. I think the 9 has a better chance of getting in. Why did because right now the 9 car is 14th in points as far as owner points, like with all the people that have subbed in there. So he's higher up in points than the 48 car. Why did Blockbuster movie sponsorship go away? That's a good question, Chris MV. I guess because they went under. There's only one Blockbuster left, as far as I know. Neither will get in, but I'd choose the 9 over the 48. Patrice O'Neill was my favorite comedian. Yeah, he had good stand up, but he was, I guess, more famous for those roasts. Him and that I forgot the other comedian, but he had like the on his forearm he had a wraparound tattoo. They were super famous for roasts. TV networks need to retire the blimps and get a bunch of drones. I think it was SRX using drones, and it rocked coverage wise. They have been using drones in most motorsports. I'm pretty sure Fox and NBC have been using them too. Tony Stewart was on, but maybe they can use them in a better way, like the SRX was using them. That's a fair point. Tony Stewart was on the Pat McAfee show. Says in between the lanes. I haven't caught that yet, so I have to check out the Pat McAfee show. Who saw Pat McAfee going to ESPN? That's crazy too. I've seen the channels and videos you're talking about. It is irritating, says Napa Race fan. Yeah, just do I mean, if you're going to talk about something you don't know about at all, at least do a little bit of research. The only one that I've seen that did like a decent job of it, the comment it's a young girl in the comment section or something like that. She actually did some research, and she said like, I'm not familiar with all this, but I did some research. So she's on point with her facts in her particular deal. And I've watched both sides of it. And of course, the left, they don't even have to worry about the results on the track because they're just talking about how disrespectful it was. So the left doesn't even need to do research because they're going with more of an emotional plea on their side. So their research for them is, I guess, not necessary. I don't think either one gets in, but I'm saying the 9. I would really not be surprised if somehow Noah Gregson ends up going to Stewart Haas. We all know Tony likes a good driver and not just a driver with money. And Noah has that passion. I mean, that's fair enough. Tony Stewart did come out and say he wants guys with talent. Noah will return, but he has a road to hoe, says Shy. Yeah, I think so too. He's going to have to win a lot of races. Detroit Pistons were on Bowman. Showman's Chevy ZL1 this weekend. It was a pretty good looking scheme, though. I will have to say that. I did like the red and blue racing stripes down the hood. That looked really good. Come on, name names. There's only friends on here, says Brickyard Brickhead. Yeah. Friends until you sign off and you're canceled the next day. Is Chevrolet still going to run the Camaro next year? Says Shaw. Yeah, they're going to run it. They're going to run it for the foreseeable future. Foster Brooks was funnier than heck. Like I said, the new Camaro is going to be electric, and that's the body that Chevrolet is going to use in the future. NASCAR is not going electric. Chevrolet is, and they're going to use an electric body on a NASCAR car. I'd like to repeat that again. What happened to Noah is truly terrible, says RJ. Elliott has a championship and Bowman has a couple of wins. It's not even close. That's a fair point too. Remember, there could be 3 drivers for the year. I reckon some hopes for the playoffs. That's true too. That's very true. Anybody can win at Daytona, right? We saw that with Austin Dillon at a plate track. Trackhouse news: Ross and Suarez finished together. Suarez got points. And that jerk, just kidding, had to be great and beat Suarez for the stage win. Truex is great. Yeah, that was insane. At that point in the race, I was like, if NASCAR doesn't take his car to R&D, they're not doing their job. And they didn't, but I guess they checked it in regular tech because he did finish second. Let's strap one of those wokesters to the front end of a truck and race away. They sound like they'll make more entertaining noises in the races and probably louder ones than today's motors. I don't get into politics, but definitely one side or the other is always upset with the other side. Stewart is the GOAT. Just won Top Fuel over the weekend, says Corliss. I agree, Stu, says JFB. Jordan was certainly happy the Pistons car didn't finish well, says Napa Racing fan. Yeah, Michael Jordan does not like the Pistons. Check out the Last Dance or whatever it's called. Truex and Hamlin retire in 2025, and JGR sells 2 charters. I don't know if JGR is ever going to go sell their charters. I don't think anybody's going to sell their charters. Like that's just how I feel about it. I think NASCAR will expand charters before any of the big teams sell them, including SHR. Tony wanted the last outcast in the 42. That's true. That's a fair point. Robin Marks, is NASCAR going electric? They're not going electric. I like the troll there, Robin. I like the troll. Douglas Serrano, how will SVG do at the Indy race? Let's see here. Shaw said, sorry to make you repeat yourself, BB. I missed your answer. Oh, it's all good, man. I'll repeat myself as many times as possible, my friend. How will SVG do at the Indy road course? He'll probably get I'm thinking a top 12. Easy. Chris says the best stories this year were Garage 56 and Project 91 with SVG for sure. Shah says sorry. Shah, don't apologize, brother. You're all good. Nobody has to apologize. It's all fun and games here for sure. NASCAR is not going electric, says 1,000 horsepower next gen. BB, what is Daniel? What Daniel McFadden did to Noah, Wall Street Journal did to PewDiePie in 2017, which caused the adpocalypse. Front stretch should fire him, says RJ. Yep. So that's another aspect of it, which just not that you guys care, but YouTube's been going through an adpocalypse again because of the Bud Light thing, which is why I don't talk about the Bud Light thing, because talking about it only hurts the money I make on this channel. So the sooner it goes away and the sooner more people start doing advertisements on YouTube and other social media platforms, the better. But now there's a potential that, Twitter and Instagram might take a hit ad revenue wise because of situations like this. So that is a pretty fair point, RJ. You're on top of it. That stuff, I don't like to talk about it because when YouTubers talk about money, it does sound very whiny. I remember back in the day, before I was ever monetized, I was like, would you guys shut up about money? So I'm not going to go on about it, but you do make a very good point. Everyone needs to vote Gregson in for most popular driver, says Stu Puddy. Or Stu Pud, sorry. You changed your name on me, man. Everyone needs to vote Noah Gregson in for most popular driver. That could be something that if you got a grassroots campaign going, that could be something that would show NASCAR that people didn't appreciate their reaction. That being said, Noah Gregson did make a mistake in representing a big brand like that and liking something like that on his main. So he made a mistake too. I want to be clear about that. But NASCAR and Legacy, I think they had an overreaction to the mistake. According to precedent they've set with other drivers, that being Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Haley Deegan, they all got sensitivity training and no suspension. Fans yelled at NASCAR and got back. NWBS fans yelled at NASCAR and got stage cautions removed at RCs. Any chance if fans yell loud enough, we'll get back full season points like the other series? I don't know. Not until a different TV contract is negotiated, I don't think. Darrell Wallace had no problem bringing politics into the sport. Brandon Brown got blackballed, and all he did was win a race. Not even his fault, says Jay Campbell. I mean, that's the world we live in. That is the world we live in. I'm not gonna get super political about that. Have a great week. Buckle up is for Speedway. Have a great week. Speed is for the Speedway, not for the highway. William Wagaman, appreciate that you're there, William Wagaman. Shaw says I unsub from Front Stretch. I mean, don't do that. They have a lot of good journalists over there. Just because you don't like one, I don't know. I'm not. This is essentially that's essentially doing like what we're irritated about, right? They're trying to cancel Noah, and so now we're going to cancel them. That's 2 wrongs don't make a right, but 3 lefts do. So I don't know. I don't know. It is what it is, though. It's your lives, and you can do what you want to. So do what you want to. But I'm not going to unsubscribe from stuff. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing and calling it like I see it. That's all I can do. Brickyard Brickhead. If NASCAR goes Don Meredith, I can't put that one together. If NASCAR goes E, oh okay. If NASCAR is electric, cue Don Meredith. Turn out the lights. I can't remember how that song goes. Turn out the lights. It's over or something like that. Douglas Serrano. I still feel sorry for Brandon Brown. He should still be racing today. Yeah, that's one of the worst situations ever was the Brandon Brown deal. NASCAR needs to bring back full season points. I agree with you, Jay Campbell. I wish full season points would be back. I'm pretty sure. I heard you race. What do you race? I've got a limited late model, and I'm also building some other stuff for the channel. So I'll be racing at Ace, and when I do, I will let you guys know. If 1 million people will send me $5, I will tell them how I bought an Xfinity ride, says Mark Barnum. So there you go. What's up, BB? Who's your championship four predictions? I got Martin Truex Jr. in there. I got Kyle Larson, William Byron, and Denny Hamlin. The way he's running right now, I got Denny Hamlin. But easily you could slide Chris Buescher or Kyle Busch in there as well. It changes week to week for me. I kind of want to change one of them and put Kyle Busch in there, but that's because Kyle Busch has a strong first name, and I've got a natural bias to that. What's up, BB? I just read that one. Dale Jr. is looking to buy a charter, but money. Yeah, so the price of charters is through the roof, like everything else right now. Let's see here. I think NASCAR should mix up the races every year, go to certain tracks at the same time, like the Daytona 500. I think the playoff races should change every year. Says JFB. Shah says, okay, BB, I will resub. BB has spoken. You're right. No, you don't have to listen to me. Do what you want to do. I was just giving my opinion on it. Don't listen to me. Live your life. Do what you want to do. Don't let me influence you. Hey, Penske fan. I think Blaney still has a good shot at making the Final Four, says Napa Racing fan. But I do have to give my perspective on stuff like that. RJ, hey, let's see. Yeah, I think Blaney and Logano always have a shot at the Final Four because Penske plays the game. They R&D for the final 10 races after they get a win. Let's see here. Nebraska troopers have ticketed 200 people last month over 100 miles away and almost 400 for 90 to 99. Hey, so there you go. Stay safe out there. Don't speed, because you never know when a wild animal is just going to charge on the side of your car like they did to me this week. Both airbags on the passenger side popped in the car, so that's going to be an expensive fix. Insurance will cover it, but it's no less irritating. Just so you know, when the airbags go off over there, it's about like somebody shooting a 22 in a car. My right ear, still having problems with hearing and tinnitus. Hopefully it goes away. Junior's rich. Why is complaining about price? He'd make back the money tenfold. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot going on. I think part of what Junior is complaining about is so that the teams will get more TV money. So I think part of that's in play too. Sorry about changing the name. Stu Pud seemed funnier than Stu Putty because I'm stupid. I hear you, Stu Pud. I never even thought about that, but I love it. Let's see here. I like the play on words there. Napa Racing fan, it's you again. What's up? Awesome. So happy to talk to you again. Turn out the lights. The party's over, says Jay Santos. So there you go. I couldn't remember the words to it. Turn out the lights. The party's over. I'm not going to attempt to sing that song because it's an old country song and I don't remember the cadence of it. This cancel culture crap just makes me so mad. It's very frustrating. It's very, very irritating. I grew up in a culture of people make mistakes and forgive them unless they make the same mistake over and over again. Tyler Riddick had Rocket League on his 45 Camry TRD. It was a pretty good looking car too. Rocket League is definitely a fun game, and they were playing it during the rain delay too. BB forgot VRR was close to the Raleigh-Durham area. I wish I had at least one Cup date. I do too, but it would be really difficult for them to host a Cup race the way the seating is laid out. Let's see. Don't matter the source. You should always check multiple sources. Obviously, Kyle did the research, so don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. Read everything with a critical eye, especially these days, Robin Marks. There's no doubt about that. Houston Hokut, it's been a terrible year to be an Elliott fan. He's had an off year, but drivers are going to have off years. I'll take Brad in the 6 for the win this weekend, says home guy. I hope he wins soon. KB with the inconsistency is going to be tough, but you can be inconsistent and make the Final Four. You can be inconsistent and win. At least one of the championships that Joey Logano won, he was inconsistent, but in the playoffs, he got super consistent. So he was consistent when it mattered. VIR Cup race would be interesting, says Napa. It would be awesome. People will complain about the passing, though. I'd love to see Cup at VIR. Thanks, Penske fan. Good to see you, too. Napa Racing fan, VIR is also the home track to the channel Gears and Gasoline. I didn't know that, so there you go. It's also really close to the Ariel Atom. If you buy Ariel Atom in the United States, it probably comes from the factory right there at VIR or near VIR. BB, you were right. I can admit when I get out of hand, I should not punish the whole because of one bad apple. Yes, there you go. There's plenty of stations I watch for sports, and I don't agree with every anchor there, but I'm not going to stop watching the whole station because of one dude. That's just how I look at it. So it is what it is. The other thing is I don't believe in cancel culture. So if I go out here and try to cancel somebody, I'm a massive hypocrite, right? So it is what it is. I don't think Dale Jr. I think it's Kelly. They are not slumming, says Brickyard. Yeah, I think they're just pushing for more TV money from NASCAR before they jump into it. I think it happens one day, though. But it's going to be on their timeline and not ours, obviously. Want to see Harvick or BK to win the championship, says Mark Barnum. Napa Racing fan, I'm going to probably see you tomorrow for NASCAR Weekly Podcast, says Team Penske fan. Robin Marks, it's actually Bansma. My surname is Dutch, despite me being American. Did you see where Dale Jr. almost wasn't number 88? Yeah, he wanted the 28, but Texaco Havlin, he could have had it, but obviously Texaco Havlin has some affinity for that, and they didn't want him to run it. If you said it, BB, Penske gets their cars in and off for the last 10 races, playing the system, and that's what you should do. Like, this is the system in front of you. That's how you should play it. Jimmy Johnson and Chad Knaus won a bunch of championships playing the other system. For sure, NWP will be interesting, says Napa Racing fan. It's always a good show, so it's always interesting to me. RJ, Brandon Wong, don't forget to watch the NASCAR Weekly Podcast. This is not a paid promotion. I just like those guys because they're pretty cool. RJ, Brandon Wong emoji thing. I was squinting. I meant to send the peace sign. Says Robin Marks. Eyesight gets the best of us from time to time, brother. Dinger and SVG favorites at the Indy Road Course. Logano still has to be, I agree with you there, Serrano. They're going to be two of the favorites. Logano still has to be considered as a repeat, has to be considered to repeat as champion. I would agree with you. He's the only one that's got two in this format. Like I said, Penske have this format figured out better than others right now. Corliss Texaco didn't want Dale to have the 28 because of Davey Allison's legacy. What up, Kyle and everyone? What's up, Dev Finch? If the drivers only have to worry about the last 10 races, wouldn't that make the first 26 boring and let teams sandbag? That's been the complaint recently. Sorry, RJ, typo, says Robin Marks. I give everyone 3 chances, but after 3, I'm done with you. That's fair enough, Shaw. Yes, did you see the video? It says Corliss. Wouldn't it be cool to see Reddick win in the Rocket League car? That would be pretty cool. Rocket League is a huge video game amongst people younger than me and amongst people my age and older. So there you go. It's just a big game for a lot of people. Robin Marks, I have many typos myself. It's all good. The current championship format really just benefits the scrubs who can't put a full season together. That's a fair critique. I'll be present at Daytona to watch either the 9 or the 48 get a W, says Jay Campbell. It's fair to say that there will be some straight up teamwork there, because you could have something where the 5 and the 24 don't even go for the win. They just keep pushing teammates. I have 2 sons that I've taught them critical thinking and not to trust the media. That's a good skill to have right now. Yep, I did, says RJ. My mom told me to quit cold turkey, but I love cold turkey, says RJ. IMSA dropping Lime Rock from the schedule was ridiculous. Seeing NASCAR run there once would be cool. Lime Rock's a pretty cool track. I used to play it on Forza or some other video game, but I've raced at Lime Rock digitally on a video game. Turkey sandwiches, says Shah. BB, if we took our glasses off, will we be blind as bats? I don't know. I've never seen through a bat's eyes. Great show, BB. Appreciate your opinions. Catch you guys on Sunday. Appreciate you, one wise guy. Turkey ham and mozzarella cheese sandwich. Speedway Anywhere. Sorry I got here late, but as no one learned the lessons of Kyle Larson and Haley Deegan and Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin, don't forget them either. But they didn't get suspended. They just got probation. That's the only thing. It's not a consistent penalty. I think that's everybody's real concern. Rocket League is a fun game. Nobody's defending what Noah did. He definitely messed up. You can't like that on your main while you're representing a big corporation. Rocket League is a fun game that's better than soccer with cars. It's a pretty cool concept. Who would have thought of something like that, right? It's just a cool concept. The only media I trust is this channel, LO. I get it wrong sometimes too, Jay Campbell, but I will admit when I get them wrong, at least. I will make a retraction. But Budweiser can make a comeback in Cup with Junior, says Chris MV. I think they're going to be okay with Busch next year with Ross Chastain. I think Ross has a lot of fans too. I like the 5. Well, we'll be there at the end for Daytona. LOL. He has the worst luck. Will Stewart win at Eldora this weekend? Yeah, so maybe the 5 just pushing somebody at Daytona is going to be his best chance for a good finish. Taylor, I agree with you. He does have bad luck at plate tracks or super speedways. Will Stewart win at Eldora this week? Well, it's his track, so you would think he's got the home field advantage there. Haley Deegan is awesome at promoting herself on social media, no doubt about it. Over 500,000 subscribers. I guess BB, you think my jokes are quite batty? Yep, that is a. I like that one, RJ. BB speed reading like a NASCAR race leader, laughing my butt off. Says Shy. Just doing my best to try to keep up with you, Wildcats. Stay in clean air, BB. No rest for you. I think 5 road course dates is a good number. Maybe keep the Glen and Coda, have Road America and Montreal, and have a date rotating different tracks. Nothing against the known, but I like those 4 better. I think as far as road courses go, you could rotate different road courses every single year, and I think people would be okay with it. People just don't want you to go over 5 or 6 road course races. Got to bounce. Have a good night, everyone. Appreciate the time, BB. I appreciate you checking us out. As always, say Kyle, thanks for helping out. Jay Campbell says smash the like button. So, yeah, if you want to hit the like button, it would be much appreciated. But no pressure, and it's looking like we're getting to the end of them, so I'll stay on here for a few more minutes if you guys want to throw one up. Otherwise, I'll call it a night. There is a poll question up. Will Chase Elliott make the playoffs, yay or nay? Save the fairgrounds for sure. Definitely save the fairgrounds. If there's anything we can do to get NASCAR to the fairgrounds, I will do it to help. I also like to include Charlotte on that list. Imagine Riverside Motorport, if Riverside Motorsports Park still existed. Peace out. Remember to forgive is divine in the words of William Shakespeare. Shaw. Sonoma needs to be part of the West Coast swing. I got to go now. Double B, have a good night. Take them easy, Douglas. Riverside would have been interesting. You the man, BB. See you next time. I think the 48 makes the playoffs before the 9. And Robin with the super chat, and this is going to be the last one. I appreciate you, Robin. Fist bump. Here's to honesty and diligence in broadcasting. You said an important thing. At least you retract and correct. The media doesn't do that. And if so, they do it sheepishly. I agree with you 100%. And that's why I wanted to make sure whenever I'm aware of making a mistake, I try to get it out there that I've made a mistake. As much as it hurts my feelings, pride, and ego, I get it out there that I've made the mistake. Cletus, race Bristol Labor Day weekend, says old home guy. And Robin Marks, too many sheep on the planet. Makes me think maybe I have 3 races. I have a spot every year and 2 rotating dates, road courses. Rotating east and 1 west, says Napa Racing Fan. That could be. And that's going to be it. Thanks for your time. It's fun as always. And peace.